So, my dear ones, now let me show you guys the wheel of wisdom. So, this is our wheel of wisdom, and this wheel contains the name of, I guess, 55 transformational books. That is why it feels so crowded here because I've added a lot of new books here, like old ones, but I didn't added them before because I was going with like 31 days of the month, so 31 books. But I've removed some of the books that we have read a lot from, and I've added a lot more new books. So yeah, I'm pretty excited what is going to come up for all of us. And for those who are joining us for the very first time, so these are the books that I have read in the past 10 years of my life, which was focused on healing, personal growth, and all of that stuff. And now that our energy is aligned, that our vibrations has been raised, we are going to to receive a message. We're going to receive a message from the universe, God, divine, spirit, source, ancestors, angels, whatever you want to call it. And we are going to do that using this wheel, as this wheel is going to choose a book for us randomly or magically. And now, before I spin the wheel, I would like you guys to decide the direction of this live, which is by bringing to your awareness what is it that you would like to receive guidance on. So think of anything specific that is going on in your life, like a specific issue, a specific desire, a specific area of your life. And if there is nothing specific that you want, that you need to work upon, then you can simply set an intention that may I receive the wisdom or guidance for my highest good. And once you have either thought of something specific or you have set this intention, let me know in the comments by typing ready so that we can spin the wheel and, yeah, see which book wants to come up for us today. And yeah, if you cannot type, you can always like press the heart also to let me know that, yeah, you have thought of something. And then we can spin the wheel. Okay. So we have a few hearts. I'm assuming that you guys have thought of something by now. Okay, yeah. Pav is ready as well. Okay, wonderful. Thank you. So now, whatever it is, hold that in your awareness as we spin the wheel. So, the book that came for all of us here today is Atomic Habits, Tiny Changes, Remarkable Results by James Clear. So, if you have ever, thought of cultivating a healthy habit, and if you have thought of reading a book, then this book might have come up because this is a pretty popular book and a very amazing book as well. So, yeah, give me a second to open the book and choose the number so that we can play a game. Okay, so the instruction for this game is that I'm going to ask you guys to choose a number between certain numbers, okay? And I do not want you guys to rush at all. Instead, I want you guys to tune in and see which number is coming up for you, and then share that number in the comments. And then I will go through all your numbers and choose a number that I am feeling most called to. So, in this way, we will get to tap into that collective wisdom and receive the message that wants to come up for each and every one of us at this point in our life. So, the numbers between which I would like you guys to choose is 18 to 180. Okay. Thank you, Pav. What about others? Today, other people are pretty quiet. Thank you, Zainab. Thank you, Sumit. Thank you, Tom. Okay, you guys were just taking your time. That's okay. Anyone else who would like to share a number before I choose one? Then let's see. Which number am I feeling most called to? Thank you, Sari. Thank you, Michael. Okay, so the number that I am feeling most called to is 138, and the number has been chosen by Pav for all of us. Thank you, Pav. Okay, it indeed turned out to be the first number, but that is not the criteria. Okay, so let's see what is on page number 138. Hmm. So, the heading for this is the 2-minute rule. So, even when you know you should start small, it's easy to start too big. Whenever we are trying to change something, whenever we are trying to develop a healthy habit. So even though we know it is advisable to start small, we have this motivation within us and we just take that big jump, big leap, and we feel like starting too big. So when you dream about making a change, excitement inevitably takes over and you end up trying to do too much too soon. The most effective way I know to counteract this tendency is to use the 2-minute rule, which says when you start a new habit, it should take less than 2 minutes to do. For example, so any habit, any healthy habit that you are thinking of inculcating, especially since the new year is very, closer to us, and when this year is ending and the new year is coming, we are like, okay, let's change something. Let's develop a healthy habit. Let's make our life better. And we have all this motivation and we do something big. We are like, okay, from now on, every single day, I'm going to exercise for 1 hour. And we do that maybe for a day or two, for a week maybe, but eventually it vanishes away. And that is the pattern that happens. So, this time, whatever habit that you're thinking of inculcating in this new year, you know, scale it down to 2 minutes. For example, if your habit is reading before bed each night, then it becomes reading one page or reading half page if the page is lengthy. Or if your habit is do 30 minutes of yoga, then it becomes take out my yoga mat and sit there or stand there, just toning it down to the smallest version of it. So if and it can also apply to any task that you are dreading doing, a difficult task, a chore, for example, folding the laundry. So it becomes folding just two pairs of socks, that's it. So just toning every single thing down to the 2 minute version. And it might feel small, but it is what will, build confidence within you because you would be able to do the 2 minute version. It is not too much for you to do. And the more number of times that you do it consistently, then the more, confidence that you will have in yourself that, yes, I can improve on that. I can, develop this habit. So once you have started doing the right thing, it is much easier to continue doing it. A new habit should not feel like a challenge. The action that follow can be challenging, but the first 2 minutes should be easy. Okay. So now my invitation for you guys is that whatever habit that you're trying to, you know, develop in yourself, any healthy habit, or if you haven't thought so, then this is an invitation to first think what is one healthy habit that I would like to inculcate within myself, in the next new year. And remember, if you start now, it is the start of November. If you start now, you start with 2 minutes, you increase it to 2 minutes in December, like 4 minutes in December. And then in January, you are at like 5 or 6 minutes. And you can keep on increasing that, you know. So instead of waiting for the new year, now is the time to begin with that. And for that, I invite you to think of the one healthy habit that you want to incorporate into your life and a 2 minute version of it, something that you could do about that habit in 2 minutes, and then share that in the comments. Okay. So, yeah, that is when you share that, it is your like commitment. Okay. So, yeah, let me go through the comments here. Zainab says, what a wonderful message. I needed to hear this. Yeah, that is so when we are trying to cultivate a lot of new things, a healthy habit, it is important to remember this. And I'm glad, Zainab, that it resonated with you. I was hoping that it would. Okay, Misha also loves the message. Pab says, can you read it again, the last sentence? Yeah, sure, I can. And first, let me reply to Misha's comment, which is, which book are you reading from? I just joined. Misha, I'm reading from Atomic Habits by James Clear. So the last line that I read was that a new habit should not feel like a challenge. The action that follows can be challenging, but the first 2 minutes should be easy. So it's like, no matter how challenging the habit is, even if you plan on, lifting weights, then also the first 2 minutes can be just going, um, holding those, I don't know what you call them, holding those weights in your hand while they're on the ground. That can be a first 2 minute habit, you know. So any challenging task or any challenging habit, break it down to what can I do in just 2 minutes. If you plan to lift up the weights for like, 5 minutes or so, just break it down to the easiest version of it so that it is less challenging. So that is the point. Make it less challenging. And the easiest way to do is to think of a 2-minute version of it. But it can vary depending on your activity or your on your habit. Okay. So I hope, Pav, that you got the line that you were looking for. Sarah says to clean my house every day. Exactly. Huh. So again, now, when it comes to consistency, we are like, we should be doing this thing every single day. But consistency is not that. So in terms of cleaning the house, it can be not cleaning the whole house every single day, but maybe I will start with cleaning one corner of my house every single day, you know, and start with that. And gradually, if it is less challenging, you would develop a habit of it. And then you can expand that corner, include more things. So slowly and gradually expand onto that. If this is challenging for you, then you can do that. And if it is not, but if you struggle to do it every single day, then that's okay. Our energy, our mood, and a lot of factors vary every single day. So if you miss a day or if you do not clean with your very best, for example, if you just rub a cloth instead of, doing the hardcore cleaning, then that's also okay. You know, um, Bringing flexibility to that habit or that task will help you stay consistent. Allowing yourself to not be your 100% in terms of doing this habit every single day is okay because you are not your 100% every single day. Okay. Now, Kathleen says, do you think that applies to things you're trying to stop doing too? Yeah. For example, if we are trying to stop doing something, for example, if we are trying to stop engaging in a bad habit and you have this urge to engage in that habit, then you can try delaying it for 1 minute. So, if you are feeling this urge, then do not act right away on this urge. If you're feeling this urge to eat something unhealthy, then delay it to, 1 minute or 2 minutes. That for the next 2 minutes, I'm not going to eat. And then I will eat, but for the next 2 minutes, I'm not going to eat. And gradually, what you're doing is you're learning to that it is okay to have this urge, to feel this urge within me and not act. You know, you're sending your body or your mind a signal that I can tolerate this, I can tolerate the sensation. So, yes, it applies to bad habits as well in, in a different manner. And it might apply in more different versions, but yeah, that is the one that came to my mind. And I hope that resonates with you, Kathleen. Okay, Sarah's okay. No, I read that message. Pap says decluttering and creative practice. Exactly. So if you are like, so cleaning your house every day, so bringing it down to decluttering your desk, and that is the space that you're going to clean or declutter every single day, And it doesn't have to be the best that every single day you do not have to pick each item and, I don't know, polish it, rearrange it, put it at the exact right space, but you will declutter in some manner. So, yeah, bringing it down, bringing flexibility. Yes to flexibility. Exactly. Misha says, thank you. You're welcome. Okay. So I hope that Pav, this resonated with you and it seems to resonate with a lot of people. So yeah, I hope that it helps. Okay. Now let's move on to the next reading. Okay. But before it, I'm going to take a sip of water. Okay, my dear ones, let's see what wants to come next. So again, bring to your mind, whatever it is that you would like to receive some guidance on. Okay. Holding that in your awareness as we spin the wheel. So the book that came for all of us is Oneness with Life by Eckhart Tolle. So I'm sure you might have heard of Eckhart Tolle, and yeah, this is one of his books. Um, so yeah, we're going to see what wants to come through this one. Oneness with Life. I love the title of this book. Okay, KD says yes, missed the reading, but last comments about allowing self to be flexible is reassuring. I'm glad that you were able to catch on to the glimpses of it and, carry with yourself the crux of it, which is, allowing ourselves to be flexible. And rewatch the recording or go through the summary, Katie, as always, of this live in case you want to, catch on to that reading, which was about developing healthy habits. Okay. So let me open the book and see what wants to come through this book. Oneness with Life. Okay, I'm just choosing the page numbers. Okay. So the instructions for the ones who are joining for the very first time is, and for everyone, is that I'm going to ask you guys to choose a number between certain numbers. And I do not want you guys to rush, but instead tune in and see which number are you feeling most called to. And then share that number in the comments. And then I will randomly pick a number that my intuition is feeling called to. Okay. So here you go. Choose a number between 20 to 43. Thank you, Zainab. Zainab was pretty quick. Hmm. Thank you, Sarah. Thank you, Pav, Katie, Misha. Anyone else who would like to share a number? Thank you, Sari. Okay, so let's see which number is coming up for me. Okay, so the okay, we have another number. And Mary Pat's number is the same as Sarah's number. Okay, love that. You guys are on the same field energetically. Okay, now I'm feeling like going with 22. Okay, so since two people have chosen that number, and I myself am now feeling called to that number, so let's go with 22 and see what wants to come through that page. So thank you, Mary, Pat, and Sarah for choosing that number. So the author says people believe themselves to be dependent. Oh, that was the same number for Kathleen as well. Okay. Then I'm glad that I went with 22 since it is resonating with so many people. So the author says people believe themselves to be dependent on what happens for their happiness. That is to say, dependent on form. They don't realize that what happens is the most unstable thing in the universe. It changes constantly. They look upon the present moment as either marred by something that has not happened but should have. Sorry, yeah, as either marred by something that has happened and shouldn't have, or as deficient because of something that has not happened but should have. So, yeah, basically disliking the present moment because they wanted something to happen and it didn't, or they didn't wanted something to happen and it did. And so they miss the deeper perfection that is inherent in life itself, a perfection that is always already here, that lies beyond what is happening or not happening, beyond form. Accept the present moment and find the perfection that is deeper than any form and untouched by time. The joy of being, which is the only true happiness, cannot come to you through any form, possession, achievement, person, or event. Through anything that happens, that joy cannot come to you ever. It emanates from the formless dimension within you, from consciousness itself, and thus is one with who you are. Tav says deeper perfection of itself, going beyond the form, deeper perfection of life itself. Exactly. So, yeah, if you wanted something and it hasn't happened for you, or if you're going through a hard time and you didn't wanted that, basically you are resisting life as it is for you, then the author is inviting you to see the perfection in this very moment and to realize whether that happened or not, whether you got what you wanted in terms of possession, achievement, feelings, person, event, whatever it is, it would haven't led to a true satisfaction because that feeling comes when you truly connect with yourself, when you see who you are. And if you have ever experienced that, then you would know that that awareness is undescribable, but it just feels like warmth, spaciousness, love, belonging. Like, yeah, that feeling. And that is the feeling we are seeking after in things, in people, in events, in all of those different forms. And it's a nice reminder that it is not there. So stop living your life with that assumption that those will lead to that feeling of fulfillment that you're seeking. Bab says such a life affirming message. And Kathleen says powerful. And and as I was reading this, I actually, three resources of mine came to my head that I have created on this very same thing. And I wanted to share them. Usually I ask that should I share them or not, but I'm really feeling called to share them. So so that you can surpass this conditioning that society has done, you know, that true satisfaction or happiness and all of those things would come after something. So the first resource that popped in my head was this one. It is exactly on this reading, that how to stop chasing after that finish line, after that horizon that keeps on moving. The more that we run towards it, the more it keeps on moving. So life feels like that sometimes, right? So if you want to stop chasing and start living right now, if you want a shift in that mindset from always doing to this joy of being, to be introduced to this other aspect, then you can check out this course and allow it to shift your mindset. Allow it, because there is a reflection that would help you see that whether this approach is working for you or not, and how to be. So, some, exercises on that as well. That is the first resource that popped in my head, and you can save it if you feel like, yeah, I would like to, shift my mindset and carry this reading over, do something about this message that has come up in the space. The second thing that I want to share was this course, which is how to see the perfection of this very moment. So we say that this moment is perfect, that whatever we are seeking is here right now, but how, where, I cannot experience it. So if you want to learn the exact way, the, if you want to access that which is already here, then this course can be one pathway to do that. And I really, really wish that if you don't take any of my courses, then you do take this one because it would change your experience as you are living your life. So yeah, I would recommend this course to check out this one if that is what you're seeking to experience it. And the third resource that popped in my head was this one. So if you're going through something hard, because the author also mentioned that if you know, are going through something that you didn't want and you're resisting it in some manner because you don't want it, it is here, but you don't want it. Then you can check out this third resource of mine, which is another course, which says The Art of Acceptance, Finding Peace When Life Doesn't Go Your Way. So, this is the third and final resource that I wanted to share that came up as I was reading this. So, I hope that, any of them resonated with you, with whatever it is that you're going through. And now let's move on to one more reading. Okay, let's do one more and then we will wrap this. Thank you, Pa, for letting me know. Yeah, it's always, reassuring to know that, yeah, it is resonating with you guys. Okay. So, again, anyone who joined us just now, or if you haven't received what you were looking for, Bring to your awareness whatever it is that you need guidance on as we spin the wheel. So, the book that came for all of us is The Mindful Path to Self Compassion, freeing yourself from destructive thoughts and emotions. And this book has been written by Christopher K. Germer. So, let's see what this beautiful book has to offer us. Give me a second to open the book. And now I'm choosing some numbers to play a game. Mhm. Hmm. So, my lovely people, I invite you guys to choose a number between 25 to 200. Again, no rush. I'm going to pick a number randomly, okay? Hmm. Thank you, Mary Pat. Thank you, V. Thank you, Pav. Thank you, Zainab. And we missed you in the last live because your favorite number, 77, came up and it was chosen by like four people. So yeah, every time now 77 number is chosen, it reminds me of you, V. Okay. So anyone else who would like to share a number before we pick one? Okay. Then let's see. Which number am I feeling most called to here? Thank you, Sarah. Mhm. Okay. Yeah. Hmm, that's okay. Maybe in the last one, 77 came. That's why you are like, okay, let's switch it. Let's mix things up. Okay. So the number that I'm most feeling called to is 186, and the number has been chosen by Zainab for all of us. Thank you, Zainab. Thank you, Kathleen, for sharing that number. But yeah, let's go with Zainab. Okay, 186. Hmm. Okay, give me a second to understand the concept, context. Hmm. So the author is sharing an example of how, um, they applied this practice of loving kindness, basically, sending kind wishes to other people, including loved ones, including friends, sorry, loved ones, neutral people, strangers, and even someone that you do not like. So, yeah, so that is the practice of loving kindness. And the phrases for those are like, may you be happy, may you be healthy, may you be safe, may you be free from suffering. So, in these phrases, we send, some wishes to other people, and the author is sharing like an instance of how he applied it. So, the author mentions that he was struggling to help his wife after hip surgery. And the author says that I was rescued from this domestic dilemma by mindfulness and loving kindness practice. As I struggled to put my wife's shoes on her swollen feet, I had a flash of awareness. Wow, this situation is going downhill fast. So that was the awareness part. And self compassion, that may she and I be free from suffering. So usually when we are like in caregiving roles, it can become a lot of exhausting, a lot exhausting for us to care for another person as well as to care for ourselves in that time when both of us are struggling. So the author says that the meta phrase, which was may I and she be free from suffering, was the extra boost I needed to extricate myself from trying too hard to help my wife, which allowed me to get some orange juice and return to his task in a more sympathetic frame of mind. Meta practice can also penetrate into sleep or near sleep stages of consciousness. Usually, I say the phrases before I fall asleep, and when I wake up in the morning, this habit seems to have transformed the irritation I first felt as my wife yanked the blankets off the bed during her hot flashes. These days, as the covers suddenly disappear from my shoulders in the middle of the night, I find myself muttering something mildly sympathetic, like estrogen dip like estrogen depletion sucks, doesn't it? As I wave the sheets in the air and create a little breeze for her, that's a minor marital miracle. It's always good to keep some mindful meditation in your loving kindness practice. That will keep you in your body when you feel bad without changing, without trying to change anything. So, Wh- So the author shares how this practice of metta or loving kindness has impacted his life and his relationship with his wife, who is struggling with with recovery with hip surgery and a lot of other issues like menopause and everything. And the author shares examples of how it impacted. Usually because when we are repeating these phrases, we are like, how is it going to help in my real life? But when you keep on doing this practice, it becomes a part of you. It becomes a kind of natural, response when you used to react in your old pattern of irritation or complaining, like the author used to in the middle of the night, which is, understandable. So the author used to react with irritation or complaining or whatever it is that was author's response. But when the author, went into sleep with this practice, these phrases, these blessings, these intentions, this feeling of love for another synced into that, deeper subconscious mind and impacted that whole being. And the natural response that came out when she, removed the sheets was that it really sucks. It really sucks for her as well and for me as well. So that compassion included both. And in the phrase also the author mentioned, it was like, may you and I be free of suffering. So compassion can never be just about one person, just about the other person or just about me. It has to include everyone in this, circle. And that's when, we feel the real essence of compassion. And that's when it transforms us, it transforms the relationship. And and it would be a nice, thing for the other person as well. Like for her, for his wife also, who who might have received his usual response of irritation when he sympathized in a manner that it really sucks, then it feels nice that, yeah, the other person understands me, sees me, hears me, even if we haven't spoken anything, but yeah, they understand it. So this simple practice, this was just a glimpse of how a simple practice can transform your daily life. I'm glad, Pam, that you liked it. Kathleen says this really resonates. Today was so healing and helpful. I am so very happy to hear that, Kathleen. And Pav also agrees. And Sarah says sweet. Okay. Yeah, and if you would like to actually practice loving kindness, I do have, like, some tracks on it. I will share, just after reading the comments where you can find those tracks in case you want some guided practice. And actually, one more thing, my first experience with metta, with loving kindness, when I did it was, I actually did it when I was going to sleep, and none of that happened. But I noticed that I felt this warmth within my chest, and my body was feeling so good, and I didn't even like knew when went into sleep. Like I went halfway into the practice, and I was into sleep. And I did it laying down. That can be one reason, but I was not tired at all and anything, and I really struggled to fall asleep. So when I did that and I immediately drifted into sleep, it was such a beautiful feeling. So if you struggle with it, then you can try it if it works for you as well. Okay, now let me, check out the comments. Mm, I am glad, V, that it was healing for you as well. Zainab says, I was just talking to a friend of mine last night about this. She's caring for him at his end of life. He's only 52 and going through cancer and ALS, and they have had open conversations. Her partner, okay. Um, and they have had open conversations about being kind to one another, navigating through this difficult time. That is so beautiful, that despite all of the suffering, because a disease can be such a hard time for both, the person suffering as well as the person who loves, who cares about it, and who is doing the caregiving, who is in the caregiving role. And I am so glad that, that they had a conversation about it, because it brings that intention that how do I want to be, as I go through this illness, or how do I want to be as I am in this role of a caregiver, and how do we want to be in this relationship together? What is the intention that we want to bring? What is the quality that we want to bring? And even talking about it, changes things. And it might be hard to do that every single time, but now that both of them know that that is the intention, that they want, that love and kindness to be a major part of this phase, then that is going to be such an amazing impact. Thank you so much, Zena, for sharing that. And I love how Pav is sending compassion to your friend and, husband or partner. And I too am sending the person, you know, going through the illness, healing. And to both of them, I hope that they be free from suffering and they be able to hold each other and themselves in love when something, undesirable happens. I hope that they have the space and the love to offer themselves and the other person through all of this. Okay. Mary Pat says that's amazing, Zainab. Kathleen says, I wrote a note card and placing that quote by my bedside. I have to leave now, but thank you. I am glad that you're carrying this, with yourself in the form of note card. I love that you're taking action on this, Kathleen. And I hope that you have a wonderful day ahead. Bye bye. Take care. It was lovely to have you here. Okay. And you're welcome, Zainab. Okay. So I guess yeah, it is time for us also to end this live. Um, and for those of you who joined late or who missed the live or who would just like to revisit the meditation or the readings, then let me show you guys where you can find it so that you know you can re-listen to any part that you liked. So you can go to my profile, okay, and in the about section, when you scroll all the way down, here you will find this particular live, and the number of this live is 129. So you can go through the meditation again or the readings, or you know, in case you want to revisit any of the previous live, you can find all of them here. And if you don't want to watch the whole video, then also you can, access the summary of this live, which you will find here. So I have a group which is called Wonderful Beings because you guys are wonderful beings. So you can either search for it on Insight Timer or you can go to my homepage, okay, on my profile. And on the homepage, when you scroll all the way down, you will see a group at the bottom here. And here you will find a summary of today's live, including the type of meditation that we did, the name of the book through which we read, and the exact reading that we did. Okay, so you don't miss out on anything. And let's see. Um, Mary Pat says, thank you, Anisha. It was lovely to have you here, Mary Pat. And I hope that you enjoyed the live. Zainab says, I have to go. Thanks, Anisha, and everyone. Till next time. It was lovely having you here again, Zainab. And I hope to see you again if you have the time. Let me put my next live here so that any of you guys who wants to leave can leave and you can RSVP before leaving so you don't miss out on the next live. Pav says, thank you, Anisha, and everyone. Till next time, Zainab. Thank you, Pav. It was amazing having you. Okay, so I usually have two ends to this live. The first end is for anyone who, have something to do and they want to leave and they have been regular here or, they have stayed till the end. So they know what they want to, what I'm going to share next. So if you are one of them, if you are a regular person or you have stayed in the, stay till the end in my previous lives and you want to, bid goodbye, then you can do so. You can say goodbye and, leave the space and you can join again day after tomorrow. So that is the first wrap up for those people. And I have another end to this live for those who, are joining for the very first time or who have never been able to stay till the end. So for those, for those of you who are here for the very first time, I would like to share some resources that I have created for you. So you have something to go to after this live, and you can take actions and, make that change and improvement in your life. Okay, so so I would request, those of you who are here for the very first time or who haven't stayed, who don't know what I'm going to say next, to stay for like 10 more minutes and then we will wrap the live. Okay. So yeah, Sarah says today in the USA we put the clocks back an hour. So now it is 4:30 a.m. here on the West Coast and it was 7:30 on the East Coast. Okay, so I hope that you're sharing that because, I think you're sharing that because of I said that, the next live is on the same time or so. Because I forgot, did you mention anything? I didn't get the context. But yeah, if you are, then you can just RSVP and you will get notified when the next live is. And if there was some other purpose behind sharing that, then I didn't, then you can like let me know. Yeah, see you soon, Pav. Okay. So now let's go to the offerings. So there are basically three places where you can find all of the stuff that I offer. Okay. So, hmm, so the first place that you will find all of my, tracks, all of my meditations are is just above the group that I shared with you, which is on my profile at the bottom of my homepage. You will see a playlist section. So, yeah. And here you will find four playlists. Okay. So I have organized all of my tracks in the form of these playlists. And um yeah, and you can, go through them. I will just share a little bit about them in case, this is something that you're looking for. Okay, so if you are looking to develop a meditation habit or to live more mindfully or to also check out that loving kindness meditation that I shared, then you will find that here in this particular playlist, which is 21 days mindfulness meditation challenge. So there are different, versions of that practice, loving kindness, a 5 minute, a 15 minute, a 30 minute, like that. Then the second playlist that you see here is self soothing techniques for difficult emotions. So if you are feeling emotionally overwhelmed, or if you're feeling like I cannot tolerate feeling this way, or I need to lower this intensity, then you can try different techniques in this playlist and see which one really helps you tone down the intensity so you can meet what is happening inside of you. The third place that I have for you is for negative thoughts and limiting beliefs. So, this basically includes tracks on common limiting beliefs or negative thoughts like I'm not good enough, there is something wrong with me, what if I make the wrong decision, or I'm too broken to heal. So, things like that. So, these are like short tracks of 3 to 4 minutes that will help you feel less alone and more hopeful as you will have a mindset shift after listening to these. And the final playlist that you guys see here is Wheel of Wisdom Pick a Meditation. So basically I've tried to turn this playlist into a game that we play here, kind of the same format as the live, and the instructions are here. And why I have done that is because since I started doing this whole series since this January of 2025, I noticed that my intuition has really, strengthened. My connection with my intuition has strengthened. My confidence in it has strengthened. And when I need it, it is there. So I want you to have that, to develop a connection with your intuition, with your inner wisdom. And that you can do by practicing it, by tuning into it now and then. So this playlist will help you do that, where you close your eyes, scroll through it, and when your intuition says stop, you stop and put a finger on a meditation. And then listen to that, allow yourself to be guided through that. And like here are all the, by the way, where my finger went was here, like all the chants, because we did a meditation on, the energy reset where we chanted the seed mantra of each of the 7 chakras. So you can find them here if in case you want that. Okay, so this was the first place where you can find all of my meditations in one place. Sarah says it will be more difficult to participate with the meditation. Okay, okay. Okay, now I understand why you shared that. Yeah, so your comment was on the right time. So, yeah, today's meditation I have already mentioned where you can find it, which is in the playlist that I just shared. And again, in case you miss the meditations, you can simply, watch the recordings by going to the About section. So, in that way, you can catch up. So, I hope that that would help you. Okay. Now, the second place where you can find all of my offerings is you can go to the courses section. Okay. And here you will find all of my 7 courses. Okay. So I have like 3 courses related to negative thoughts and limiting beliefs, you know. So the first course that I have for you is this one. It will help you identify what are all the common thinking, patterns that leads to suffering. What are those ways of thinking that are unhealthy, that are unhelpful. And there are certain common ways based on, 2 therapeutic approaches. So you can go to that list and see which one do you have and identify your top 3. And in this course, I've also included specific strategies for you to counter those particular, thinking patterns. So you can, have the strategies to apply when you engage in that thinking. So that is the first course that, I have for you guys. The second course is this, which is to help you identify your limiting beliefs, which are, your beliefs about yourself, the world, or other people that limit you, that do not allow you to get what you really want. Sometimes you feel this resistance and you don't know why you are not taking that action towards your goal. So maybe a belief is there that is hidden in your subconscious mind that is, controlling your life in that manner. So if you want to change the results that you're getting in your life, you need to first become aware of what is stopping you. And in this course, I've included all the techniques that I know of to, uncover those hidden beliefs and to also find where did you get them from and how they are impacting your life. So if that is something that you're going through, you can check out this particular course. And the next course that I have for you, the third course is, so this particular course is basically a step-by-step guide based on CBT, which is a therapeutic approach to counter any negative thought that you have. Okay, so there are certain, techniques from this approach to help you identify them, challenge them, change them, and continue all of this process. Okay, so if that is something that you are looking for, then you can try this that particular course. And I already shared with you 3 courses which were related to accepting a difficult situation, finding peace and joy in this present moment in your current life, and how to stop chasing and start living. So I'm not going to share them again, but I'm going to share the seventh and the final course here, which is how to live more mindfully. So if you want to live with more awareness, more presence, and feel more alive as you go through your day to day life, and also to deepen your meditation practice, then this would help you, have the ways to do that. So these are all the 7 courses that I offer. And if anything resonated, you can check out that particular course and go through that and let it transform your life. And if none of the resources that I've shared with you, neither the playlist nor the courses, you know, is what you're looking for, is what you need at this moment of your life, then the final place where you can get what you need most right now is you can go to the About section of on my teacher profile, and here you will find all of the additional gifts that I have for you and a way to work personally with me. So, if you would like more personalized guidance or support for your particular situation, no matter what it is, then in that case, you can check out here, and have a personal session with me. And I would be happy, I would be honored to walk alongside you on your journey and to help you. So yeah, you can check this out if none of the resources that I've shared resonated with you. And here you will also find some additional things, like some additional gifts that I've created for you, the recording of this particular live, and the previous lives, and about my journey as well, that what I have gone through, what, like, the whole journey, what I learned and everything. So yeah, if you want to do that, you can check out that about section. So these are all the three places where you can find all of my offerings. So yeah, thank you so much for listening to me so patiently. I appreciate your presence, all the comments, for sharing your experiences and whatever is coming up, whatever was coming up for you, for the lovely hearts. And I bow down to the divine within you all. Namaste. And I will see you day after tomorrow. Sarah says, nah, I didn't get it. Okay, namaste. Okay. Yeah, namaste, Sarah. And yeah, before we leave, in case you would like to make a contribution to help me keep these live going, if anything from these lives touch you, help you, and make an impact on your life, and if you would like to make an impact on other people's life, because every single donation that you make goes towards creating resources and to offer more free sessions to a lot of people. So yeah, if you want to help me support that, then help me continue doing that, then you can make a contribution. And if you don't, or if you can't, then that's okay as well. Okay. So yeah, bye bye. Take care.